finishing our March Madness bracket. The first game of the first round tips off at 12:15 Eastern tomorrow in just under 16 hours. I got Sam with me here. And next up, we got the first round in the South region. Florida versus the winner of Prairie View A&M versus Lehigh. Right now, that game going on. Prairie View A&M leading by 7 with about 7.5 minutes to go. I'll keep you updated on that one throughout the pod. Should be a good one. Who you got?
All right. I mean, to be real, it's pretty obvious Florida. But I mean,
I would agree
I
with
just
that.
don't.
We
I
will,
mean,
due
just
to
don't see an
time
upset.
constraints, we're going to go ahead and skip the analysis of this very
Mm-hmm.
simple game. We're moving on to what will be a very interesting game between 9 seed Iowa, who a lot of the metrics really like, and 8 seed Clemson, who I personally really like. Sam, what are you thinking here?
I mean, Iowa, they haven't really shown an ability this season to beat any very good teams. But Clemson, they're an 8 seed, and I feel Iowa's got the talent to take them down. I would go with Iowa.
I would agree. My only qualm is that Clemson on their list of notable results has 2 wins, which is compared to Iowa's 1, which is still both of these teams kind of weak. I don't know. So everyone's been talking about this kind of as a battle of heavyweights in the 8-9. I don't know. I don't like either of these teams, but I I will allow Iowa. I have in my multiple block brackets. I've picked both of them at different points. I think Iowa is a. I think that's really one of the a good. It's a good game in that it is a toss up. I don't think either of those teams are really deserving of a 8 or 9 seed. They're just not winning teams. Now, moving on, number 5 Vanderbilt versus number 12 McNeese. This a popular upset pick. Sam, do you see it?
No, McNeese State, they did last year against Clemson. This time around, I don't see it happening. Tyler Tanner's too much of a playmaker. He's the difference maker in this one, I believe.
I will agree with that one. Next up, number 4, Nebraska, number 13, Troy. Ever since the selection show itself, people have been pointing to this one. Nebraska has never won an NCAA tournament game. Does that end this year?
All right, so I could see it. I really could see them being upset here. I mean, they have not had the greatest end to the season at all. A bit of a rocky road later on after their very impressive beginning up to the season. But I mean, Troy did look very impressive in Sunbelt play this year. But I feel like the risk reward for picking Troy in this just doesn't even out. It doesn't warrant picking Troy. So we're gonna go with Nebraska. They finally win it.
No qualms with that pick. Moving on, North Carolina, VCU. VCU has always been a bubble team. Finally, they end up on the right side of that bubble. What are we
Because
thinking
they
in
won.
this one? Very, very similar teams.
I mean, UNC without Caleb Wilson. I mean, Caleb Wilson really was their whole team on almost. It kind of feels like it. I mean, he was such a playmaker. Without him, it's. I mean, they haven't performed all that well to end this season, and that's without him. But everyone's saying VCU is going to win this one. I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't see them taking down UNC. So I would go with UNC. Uh, but I mean, it sounds like VCU is a popular pick, and I definitely understand why.
VCU is a very popular pick. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there. I did pick them in my main bracket for what it's worth. I think that they have a very, very good chance of winning. But looking kind of at these two teams, when a team pulls off an upset, it's usually because they can either slow down their opponent or they can speed them up. If they have some, they're different teams. If UNC just does what VCU does and does it better, I think VCU is going to have a really tough time. I think UNC, even though they're a popular pick to get upset, I think they're a very weak weak team will not will prevail at least in this first round. Illinois and Penn. What are we thinking?
Penn.
Obviously,
Uh,
TJ Power with Penn going on an insane run.
all right. TJ Power, former 5-star recruit, lands up at Penn, and that guy single handedly put them into the tournament this season with a huge upset. Illinois, I'm not a big believer in the Illini. I really can't see them making it all that far. I honestly have them losing third round, and I don't really see them making it farther than that, contrary to what a lot of people might see. I mean, offensively, obviously they're very good, and I just can't see Penn keeping up. So Illinois definitely here.
It is Illinois, excuse me. Next up, this I don't even know what to call it. For what I again, big fan. I'm a bigger fan of St. Mary's than I am of Santa Clara. If you go and watch our show last week, or I guess last weekend, I was not a big fan at all of Santa Clara. St. Mary's, I think they're kind of probably seated correctly. A&M, though, a very strong 10 started the season atop the SEC. What are we thinking?
I really don't like Texas A&M here. I don't know why. I just don't like Texas A&M in this one. I think Houston is set up to make a run to the Final Four, maybe the championship. That's how I feel about this side of the bracket. And it all starts with obviously the round of 64, and then the round of 32 where they play the winner of this game. I don't really like either of these two teams, but
I
especially
yeah,
but
completely
especially
agree.
A&M.
I think Houston has the easiest path by far
Of any
of
two seed
any
at least.
team to the Sweet 16
Yeah, definitely. So,
and probably to the Elite Eight too.
uh-huh.
Although I like it, I like Illinois, but
Anyways, I'm gonna go with St. Mary's. I just don't like Texas A&M this season without Wade Taylor, without their one of their greatest players.
I agree. Houston, Idaho. I mean, Houston's an interesting team because they could just have such a if Kingston Fleming's Emmanuel Sharp don't get going offensively, if they just have a cold night, there's very much a scenario in which they have a real problem with Idaho. I just don't see it. What about you?
No, it's I just don't think that they are going to. I mean, I just don't think it's gonna happen. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Almost all chalk here on this side of the bracket. Michigan, Howard. What are we thinking here? This I love the Midwest has both of our teams very, very interesting
I mean,
here.
but I mean,
Prairie,
honestly,
excuse me,
I
Prairie View A&M leads by 9 with 4 minutes to go. This would be their first time ever getting out of the first four in 6 appearances.
pretty nice. I went to a Prairie View A&M game 8 years ago.
Continue.
Anyways, honestly, I mean, this is just probably just paranoia, but I am scared of Howard, if only because they forced 14 turnovers a game, something Michigan has struggled a lot with. Elliot Cadeau, he's an outstanding passer, but sometimes he tends to turn the ball over more than he should. So, I mean, it's probably paranoid to even worry about this, Michigan, but I mean, I don't know.
Michigan's a very, very strong one. I I think they got the short end of the stick on the 16 side. I agree. I think Howard
Yeah,
kind of a dark horse from what I saw against UMBC. I think both of those teams really proved themselves in the first four last night. Georgia St. Louis to play Michigan. This is a good 8-9. This is a proper 8-9. I just don't see it with St. Louis. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, Georgia is number one in the country in fast break points. That's huge. But St. Louis, they're very good defensively and offensively. They have one of the they have an outstanding field goal percentage, like an outstanding defense, one of the lowest field goal percentages, like opponent field goal percentages in the country. but I mean, I don't. I mean, we'll see how this works out. I would go with Georgia in this one. I'm not actually. I don't really know all that much about Georgia. I feel like they've played pretty weak schedule in the SEC. And I mean,
Yeah, Georgia
wins.
really is kind of running off of this Bama win. I'm not all that impressed with the rest of their resume. I think that there there's a lot more that can be done. But again, it's a team, if they get hot offensively, they can roll. They can give Michigan a run for their money. I agree. I think they handle St. Louis because I think that St. Louis is going to have some problems. They haven't played a ranked opponent all season. Similar BPIs between the two, and a significantly better defense for St. Louis. But I think that Georgia are used to defenses about the quality of St. Louis's. I think they'll do a fine job handling it. I think they play Michigan the week after. Akron, Texas Tech. Not as popular of an upset pick, but one that I personally like a lot. What are we thinking in this one?
I mean, I still believe that Akron was the best team in the MAC this season. Obviously, I mean,
I think that's probably for what it's worth. I mean, I think Akron is better than Miami, Ohio. I don't think anyone would disagree.
yeah. So I mean, obviously they have the MAC Player of the Year. What's his name? Jabari Johnson or something like that. Um,
Savari Johnson, 20 points per game. That's quite good with 5 assists.
so Texas Tech, they have Christian Anderson, an outstanding guard. They have they're pretty good offensively, I believe. They have a lot of shooters on that team, but the loss of JT Topman, it's enormous.
I mean, this points for TTU is a team that prides themselves on their offense. 88.4 points per game for Akron, obviously, just like Miami, Ohio. They're playing in the MAC, but 88.4 is just an absurd clip offensively.
So I mean, this could end up becoming. I mean, this one I definitely could see it happening. In fact, I've gone to the upset in my bracket. I think that Akron very well could take them down.
For week 4, but I just don't see the hype around Hofstra. What about you?
All right, so your thing kind of glitched out, so I can't really I don't exactly know if you mentioned Aiden Holloway, the second highest scorer. He is no longer with the team, so I mean that's a huge loss for the Crimson
Uh,
Tide. I feel like that.
yes,
Oh, you mentioned that. All right, so all right, let's see. So I mean, I don't really think that Hofstra will be able to take Alabama down, even without a key contributor. So I mean, I'm going with Alabama here.
I agree. I think Hofstra not the strongest 13 we've seen in a while. I think Bama will play Akron in the second round. Tennessee, Miami, Ohio, SMU. I am going to recuse myself from the analysis here. Obviously, the Miami, Ohio, SMU game coming up after the finish of Prairie View A&M Lehigh, where Prairie View A&M has a 10-point lead with 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go. Navy trailing by 6 to Wake Forest in the first round of the NIT.
Nobody
Nebraska with
cares.
a commanding lead over Richmond in the
Great.
women's first four for those that care. Yes, Sam, what do you think about this Tennessee team? Obviously, the highs are high, the lows are low. Miami, Ohio, SMU, obviously very different teams depending on who wins that matchup tonight. What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm not a believer in Miami, Ohio. I think SMU is definitely gonna handle business in this one. It would surprise me if Miami, Ohio won this, and honestly, I maybe could see them taking down Tennessee, but Tennessee has so much talent. I feel like obviously they're maybe a bit inconsistent at times. they can play with very good teams. Also, at other times they're just not as great. So I will go with C here. I mean, I could maybe see an upset, but I think the ball's taken down. Whoever they do end up playing.
Yeah, all right. Virginia Wright State. Wright State is an interesting 14, not one of the better 14s. They do score 80 points a game. They don't really have very many high scorers. It's a team effort. They have a lot of depth on this team. What do you think about their chances versus a Virginia team that is 1-3 against top 25 opponents?
Well, Great State isn't a top 25 opponent, which doesn't mean so. I mean that's kind of irrelevant in this case. But I
Well,
don't think Virginia is a very strong 3 seed at all. Their record,
yes, for what it's worth, the three seeds that Tennessee can play, Virginia is one that I'm okay with. I think Virginia's a good team. I'm very concerned if we do play them, but I don't think they're the strongest three on this board by any means.
all right. So, um, what was I oh, so Virginia obviously you run it on against, so he is huge defensively for the Who's. They, I mean, I don't see them losing this one. I really don't like them actually in this tournament at all because, well, I don't know. I just like I feel like the record's definitely inflated with some very weak competition in the ACC. I mean, they played Duke close in the ACC championship for that other time. I believe they got like totally blown out by like 30 points. So, I mean, they have some pretty bad losses on there. I mean, maybe not like really bad, but a loss to Butler doesn't look great. They've played many teams close. I mean, I could potentially see Wright State, but I don't really like Wright State enough to pick them over Virginia. I'm going with Virginia here, but I just don't really like Virginia in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Virginia getting the absolute honor of getting to lose to Duke in both the ACC men's basketball and the ACC football championship game in the same athletic year. Kentucky, Santa Clara.
Yeah,
Santa Clara, I don't know how and who snuck Santa Clara in. And Kentucky, talk about inconsistency. This is a team that has beat Tennessee twice, has beat Vanderbilt, and then has just gotten dog walked by Gonzaga, dog walked by Vanderbilt in the first meeting. I just really don't know about either of these teams, who they are at this, which is unusual even at this point in the season. What are you thinking?
I mean, I don't know really what's going on. Like, how did Santa Clara make it 8 losses in the West Coast Conference? That's like
I mean,
kind of a lot. That's just a normal mid-major conference with Gonzaga to bolster its strength, and maybe St. Mary's. I mean, Santa Clara. I mean, they do have some impressive wins on the resume. They in non-conference they did take down McNeese. They did take down Xavier handily. They had a close loss to St. Louis. They beat Minnesota. But I mean, I don't really like Santa Clara. Like, if only because they're 26-8 in the West Coast Conference. It's not all that impressive to me. So I'm gonna go with Kentucky. I feel like they're the stronger team in this.
I agree. I think Kentucky at least is able to put it together there. Tennessee State played Tennessee. They made it chippy. They made it physical for the first half against Tennessee. Lost 89-60, but that game felt very close. That game was annoying for the first half. I really am not surprised after seeing them back here as the winners of the Ohio Valley Conference. Iowa State also a streaky team. They have some very, very good wins against St. John's, against Purdue, against Houston, against Kansas, but their big games, a loss to Texas Tech recently, a loss to BYU recently. They're kind of on the downswing. What are we thinking?
I honestly, I'm gonna say I actually do like Iowa State as The Cyclones have one of the best shooters in the country, if not the best. He shoots.
Almachovic.
Yep, Milan Momsolovic shooting 50% from three. That's just enormous in a tournament like this. Like so that's huge for a team. They shoot 49% from the field. I feel like they are really like they're very good they're pretty good offensively, especially shooting wise. So um I just don't see this upset happening. I really do like the Cyclones.
I agree. If there's a 2v15 that will happen this tournament, it's going to be that one. That doesn't mean I think that a 2v15 will happen. Now, finally, into the round of 32, we are over halfway through this bracket. Next up, what are we thinking? Duke versus Ohio State.
All right,
Ohio State kind of had a nice little run in the Big Ten tourney until they hit a wall. Although it was a close game against Michigan, I believe, was that the semifinals of the or quarterfinals of the tournament?
they played one game I believe before, but so I don't know about
Well, that's
but
the game against Michigan was still impressive, regardless of how many games they had again played prior to that. What are you thinking in this one?
I mean Duke's they're very good. I mean they did play in a very weak ACC this season. But they have a top five offense and defense in the country, and Ohio State they're definitely talented. They could put it together. They have some very good shooters. Bruce Thornton, most notably,
John Mobley also here.
is just. I mean, they're just obviously they're very talented, and I don't see them losing so early in the tournament to a elite seed that has still not been a very that they don't really have that many great wins. Like this would be a new like a this would be easily the most impressive thing they've done all season.
Yeah, Wisconsin, yes, of course, beating Duke would be impressive. They had the win against Purdue at the beginning of March, which isn't bad. It's not the greatest win that an 8 seed has ever had. I agree. I don't see them putting it all together against a Duke team that just has immense depth of talent. And next up, this is an interesting one. Kansas are a good team. I like the way they're playing, but St. John's probably is not pleased with the way they were looked at in by the committee. They won in dominant fashion the Big East Championship. I was there. Final score was 72-52, and it didn't even feel like a 20-point game. I mean, they UConn kind of stormed back in the second half. It was complete domination from St. John's all the way through. Kansas, on the other hand, we're looking at a team. They beat Tennessee, obviously, in a close one early. They have wins over Iowa State, ended Arizona's undefeated season, and then they've got a win over Houston. This is a Kansas team with a very high ceiling and a low floor. What are you thinking?
I mean, it feels like everybody in this one is picking St. John's. I mean, like Kansas, a lot. So much depends on Darren Peterson. He's a big question mark. So everyone picking St. John's. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with them. Obviously, St. John's, they probably feel like they could have been a 3 seed, maybe even. But I mean, to be honest, they're playing 12 seed in Northern Iowa, who I'm kind of unsure as to how they're a 12 seed and not lower. And they play Kansas, who, in my opinion, might just be the weakest 3 seed or a pretty weak. I mean, sorry, not 4 seed. I feel like they're a pretty weak 4 seed. So I think they have a pretty good chance to make the Sweet 16, and I would go with the Red Storm.
I agree. I think the Red Storm are a very, very strong team. Kansas is also a strong four, but I think that in the end, will be the Red Storm who get it done. They'll play Duke. They'll give Duke a run for their money. South Florida, Michigan State. Who do you like in this one? South Florida, obviously, we picked them. That was even before the news that
Right.
Michael Brown will not be playing for Louisville. He will be out for any games that they have to play this weekend. That I don't know. I almost feel like that makes that a tougher pick because Louisville kind of has the motivation. They're the popular upset pick. They kind of feel affronted. But besides that, Michigan State taking on South Florida, do you see a possible run for an 11 seed into the second weekend?
I could definitely see that if it was probably like maybe even any other 11 team in the tournament. I don't really like South Florida all that much as an 11 seed. I could definitely see Michigan State going down early. Like I'm not a big fan of Michigan State. I mean, obviously Michigan took them down multiple times this season, which doesn't make me feel too all that confident in Michigan State. Obviously, Michigan a great team, but still, I mean, I definitely could see Michigan State going down early in this tournament. I just don't see it happening to South Florida, so I'm going to go with Michigan State in this.
I agree. I do like USF. I do have them winning this one in my bracket. I think that they definitely have the potential to be a kind of runny team, and I just don't see the matchups working out for any of the other 11 seeds. But I think that I will defer to you. It's close enough, enough of a toss up that I'll go with Michigan. UConn, a two seed, probably the top two seed. They're not the top two seed actually, because Duke was the number one overall seed. I don't like I don't like UConn. I don't like them one bit. I think they have a lot of quit in them. And what do you think about them against UCLA?
I really do like UCLA. I mean, in my personal bracket, I have them going to the Sweet 16, taking down UConn here. And honestly, I kind of back back myself on that pick. I really do like UCLA, even without Tyler Bilodeau, their top scorer, he's out. I still really do like the Bruins. I Donovan Dent, top transfer from this year's class, was a huge pickup, and he just performed he's performed very well. I really do like UCLA. They have some big wins over Illinois, over Michigan State, over Purdue one time. So I think they have the talent to take down a team like UConn. Is it like likely? Probably not. But I have the Bruins taking them down. I really just don't like UConn as a two seed. So that's why I have UCLA.
I agree. I'll default to you on that one. I have UCF winning that game against UConn. Now we move to the west portion of the bracket. Arizona, Utah State. What are we thinking? Arizona, very good, very close to being an undefeated team. What do you think?
All right. So Arizona, I mean, I feel like they're such a good team. Like I have personally have them winning the tournament. I mean, I feel like they have so much talent. They have Kobe, Braden Burries, obviously the top two scorers on that team, and potential high draft picks. They have Big 12 Player of the Year, Jane Bradley. I mean, they don't miss that many shots, and they have some very. They have two big men, very good rebounding offensively, and I mean, I just don't see Utah State taking down such a great Arizona team.
Kobe Awaka for Arizona has been excellent. Utah State, good team coming out of the Mountain West. Don't see them being able to handle the Wildcats. Number 12 seed High Point, we have them beating Wisconsin. Can they mess with Arky
Wait,
coming off an SEC tournament championship?
we had High Point beating Wisconsin.
We did.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know why. I think that was you.
I don't. I definitely didn't do that. I really don't like High Point. Wait, why
Would
do
we like to make a change?
I mean, I would.
I would agree. I think Wisconsin is rocking and rolling. Wisconsin, Arkansas, what do you think?
All right, these are two teams I really like at their seed line. I mean, I could see them both potentially taking down a one seed. I mean, I feel like they're both so good. If they weren't playing each other, like I'd probably have both of them going to the Sweet 16. But it's kind of unfortunate that they do have to play each other. Um, Arkansas, obviously with Darius Acuff, he's incredible. Like he's been performing out of his mind for so many games this season. But Wisconsin, when they're not favored, you like, I mean, they're just like incredible against like in games where they maybe aren't like maybe they're a bit overlooked in
Beat
times like
Michigan, beat Illinois, beat Michigan State, beat Purdue, beat Illinois again. They play to the level of their opponent. Obviously, that's probably part of the reason why we chose High Point. But if they can get past High Point, I think they have a very good chance of doing a very, very impressive run.
yeah, I could definitely see them going on a run. But I honestly I'm gonna go with Arkansas on this one. I feel like playing any other four seed, I would have Wisconsin win it. But I don't see them beating Arkansas. I feel like Arkansas is
I
my
agree.
favorite.
That's who I have. I think if a seed higher than a three wins the tournament or makes the final four, it's going to be one of these two. I
Maybe.
think they have a really good. It sucks that Arkansas, Wisconsin, and Arizona are all in the same part of the bracket because they are three of the teams that I think I like most in this tournament. BYU, Gonzaga, BYU, they have AJ DeMonta. They've had some impressive wins. They just weren't really able to keep it up, especially at the start of Big 12 play. Kind of got it going with a win over Iowa State, with a win over Texas Tech, but I just don't love BYU. I don't love Gonzaga either for what it's worth, but I think Gonzaga gets by. What about you?
I don't really no, I don't like Gonzaga. I just can't get past them being favored and then losing by 40 to Michigan. I just can't get past that. BYU though, without Richie Saunders, that's a huge loss, and they already have been struggling a lot later on in this season. So yeah, I'd say definitely have a ton of talent. They can definitely take down top teams. So I don't know. I don't like any of these teams. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga, but not because I think they're a great team. I really don't, but like not at all. But I just feel like I'm not a fan of either of these two teams coming into the tournament, and I BYU's been pretty poor coming into this tournament. I'm going with Gonzaga.
I agree. Missouri, Purdue. This is an interesting one. Purdue, when they turn it on, are elite. Purdue are the champions of the Big Ten. They beat Michigan. They are on a roll to end the season. But Missouri is probably the hottest team in the country right now. Obviously, they do have a loss to Arkansas, but people like Mark Mitchell, Jaden Stone, and it hasn't just been them. They have a very good point guard. I forget his name, unfortunately. I'll get that to you in a second. Um, TJ something, I believe. He's really on a roll. What do you think here? I think Purdue gets by because they're strong too. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Purdue here. I mean, I feel like they're very impressive. I don't with 8 losses, and I feel like there's reason for people to think they're maybe not. I don't think they're seeded too high, but I could see why people might be mad that they're seeded this highly. I'm still mad about last year's Michigan team. Not but anyways, yeah. So I think they're a very good team. Obviously, being one of three teams that take us down, and I feel like they. I mean, Braden Smith. Like this is a end of an era really for this Purdue team. Braden Smith, Fletcher
Mr.
Lawyer,
Lawyer.
them leaving after this season. Trey Kaufman Wren, and then even the transfer Oscar Cuff, the caveman. I mean, this is a very good two seed that's very strong all around on the court. I feel like they definitely have what it takes to make a run, and I think they'll take down Missouri.
I agree. Florida, Iowa, the 1v9, Iowa and Clemson kind of a toss up 8-9. I see Florida getting by. A lot of people have said they like Iowa in this one, that they think it's tough draw for Florida. I disagree. What about you?
Yeah, if there's one seed I could see going out early in this, I would say it's definitely Florida losing to Iowa. Like 100%. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I could see it, but I mean, I feel like they've been very impressive recently, even with that loss to Vanderbilt in SEC tournament play. They were on a tear late in the season, and I think they pick up where they left off here.
If Iowa can put it all together for the first time this season, I think that they are a very strong pick. I just don't see that. Florida gets the win here, moves on to the Sweet 16. Vanderbilt and Nebraska. I'd be for Nebraska in this bracket has already won their first game. Can they get by Tyler Tanner and Duke Miles?
Oh, they cannot. They're just. I mean, Nebraska. They haven't had a great end to the season, and uh, Vanderbilt. They're coming into this. They're coming into the tournament here. Uh, Coming off of a great run in the SEC tournament. Took down Tennessee. Took a day later. Took down Florida in a very impressive win. Lost to Arkansas, obviously, in the championship. Both of these teams, Vanderbilt and Nebraska, they were two of the final teams that were undefeated. And I mean, yeah, I don't really like Nebraska all that much. Partially, it might be brand bias, but I don't like them that much in this. I will go with Vanderbilt.
I agree. I really don't like Nebraska, pardon me. I think that they're 6-6, I believe, in their last 12 games. I think they're kind of struggling to figure out who they are without kind of the undefeated streak holding them together. I think Vanderbilt goes on, they'll play Florida again in what will be a very, very exciting game in the Sweet 16. UNC, Illinois. Who do you see getting by? Illinois, Caleb Wilson obviously out. UNC, not a very strong six. You don't like Illinois. I very much do like Illinois. What do you see?
UNC without Caleb Wilson, I don't really see them putting together the upset that I just don't think it's going to happen. Caleb Wilson, a huge part of them taking down Duke. They have not been great to end the season since that game against Duke. They also lost later on to the Blue Devils, and I mean that's not like really something that measures not something that really measures success. I mean, how you play against Duke, it's important, but not like crucial. But Illinois, I feel like they're too good offensively, and I don't think UNC without their top scorer, without their best player, can keep up with them.
I agree. I think that Illinois pulls it off. They'll move on. They'll play. I think we can both agree Houston here. St. Mary's just not a very strong seven. If you have any disagreement, say it, but due to time constraints, make it quick. Have we lost Sam?
Huh? What happened?
I'm gonna go ahead and pick Houston.
Yeah.
I assume you don't disagree.
Nope.
All right, we're gonna move on due to time constraints. Number one, Michigan. Number eight, Georgia. Do you want me to talk a little bit about this, or do you want to say your pick here?
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I feel as if Michigan. We have a. We have a very good offense and an outstanding defense. Adimar controlling the paint is like something. I mean, you cannot score on that guy in the paint. I don't know how Purdue managed to do that, but I just don't think Georgia's going to be able to do it at that same success rate. Obviously, Georgia, they force a ton of turnovers, number one in fast break points in the country, which is a very important stat. But I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to take down Michigan.
I agree. I think Michigan gets the W. Georgia, you can't just out turnover margin a team like Michigan. They're just too good defensively. Alabama. Can
Alabama.
Alabama without Aiden Holloway handle a very surprisingly good Akron team?
I actually think that Akron could definitely pull this off, but I mean, I don't know that they will, but I could definitely see it without a huge piece of this Alabama team. Akron, they've kind of gone like unproven, just like Miami, Ohio, in the MAC. So I don't really know like what my basis is for thinking they're all that great, and Miami, Ohio isn't. But I could see them taking down Alabama. I'm not sure that they will. I'm gonna go with Alabama, just playing it safe. But I mean, it's definitely possible.
I agree. I think Bama just too much firepower to beat a team like Akron. With that, yeah, Akron also a very good offensive team. Teams that are mirror images but worse of another team are not going to have a very good chance of winning. I do like Akron. I think they have a real chance without against the Bama without Aiden Holloway, but I just don't see it. Tennessee, Virginia, again, going to recuse myself from this one.
All right, NSC. I mean, obviously a ton of talent. Nate Ament, I believe he's been somewhat banged up pretty recently. I'm not sure
Went down
if
with
that's
a
still playing a factor at
severe,
all.
pretty severe injury against Alabama on the
Oh,
last day of February, but he was back for the SEC tournament, not off a minutes restriction, and he should be good to go, probably at about 90% in this one.
yeah, well, that's huge because I mean I'm not a fan of this Virginia team as 3 seed as I mentioned before. So I I have Tennessee in this one. I think that the Vols. I mean, I feel like they match up pretty well with Virginia actually, and I mean, I just don't really like Virginia. I feel like they've gone pretty untested, which um I feel like just yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they've gone untested, which so I'm gonna go with Tennessee in this one.
Yeah, this is an interesting stat. Has there ever been this would be I would bet the first time in a while that a 6-3 game had a number 12 versus number 20 in BPI, except for maybe like the Wichita State 1 seed year where they had their ridiculous undefeated regular season and stuff. Kentucky, Santa Clara, again, we don't like Santa Clara. Kentucky moves on there. Kentucky, a week 7. If you think Tennessee's inconsistent, look at Kentucky. They very much do have a chance in this one against Iowa State. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like talent wise, Kentucky can definitely beat Iowa State, but I do like this Iowa State team, as I said. I mean, I think they're very good offensively, as is a lot of the Big 12, but they're also even more impressive on defense, allowing just 65 points a game. So, I mean, I feel like Iowa State, they should be able to take down Kentucky here.
I agree. I think that Iowa State is able to take down a Kentucky team that looks a little bit rudderless when they're not playing against Tennessee. We move on to the Sweet 16. 1 seed Duke, 5 seed St. John's. St. John's making a little run. Do they have the strength to get by the Duke Blue Devils, who are statistically probably the most impressive team in basketball this year?
Yeah, I don't think they will. I just don't see St. John after, I mean, they finally put it together after so many poor years. Last year they got upset early. The only 2 seed that didn't end up making it to the Elite Eight. And I think that, well, yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to take down Duke, who's so impressive, at least both that wise and like Cam Boozer's just such a great player. And I don't think I mean, maybe Zuby Ejiofor can help them keep up, but I feel like Duke is just too good for St. John's to handle.
I agree. I think Duke gets it done. Next up in the Sweet 16, who will face Duke for a trip to the Final Four? Will it be 7 seed UCLA or 3 seed Michigan? Obviously, UCLA, I had Michigan State, pardon me. UCLA has a win over Michigan State in, I believe, yeah, the tournament, the
Man,
Big Ten tournament, lost in February. What are you thinking in this one?
I don't know. I could definitely see this upset happening again. Really do like UCLA, but also, I mean, I don't know. Michigan State, they don't really inspire too much confidence in me for them, which I like. But yeah, just I don't really like either of these two teams really to make it to the Elite Eight. Even if I do think UCLA is a very talented team, Michigan State also talented, but not like they haven't been too impressive in my opinion. So I don't know. I've gone with UCLA, but I think Michigan State's probably going to be able to take down UCLA in a rematch. But I mean, anything's possible. I'm going to go with Michigan State in this, but I mean, yeah, I feel like it's definitely closer than you might think.
Yeah, I think that would be a very good game. It's just all about, I think Michigan State in a game like that where you played the team just two, if it's in the Sweet 16, 2 weekends before you lost, you're mad, you want revenge. I think Michigan State gets it. They go to the Elite Eight. They'll face Duke for the inevitable Duke Michigan State game, a staple of March Madness. 1 seed Arizona, 4 seed Arkansas. Who do you like in this one?
I mean, if there's one team that I can see upsetting a one seed, like that I think is has a very good chance of doing so, it's
I
Arkansas.
agree. I love Arkansas in this one. I love Arkansas.
But also, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Arizona is just so good. Like I have them winning it all, and so I mean, I obviously I feel like Arkansas could definitely pull this off. I just I don't think they will. I feel like Arizona is just. I feel like they're so good. I feel like Arkansas might take down maybe any other one seed. I could definitely see them beating Florida, beating um beating Michigan, maybe beating Duke, but I can't see them beating Arizona. So I'm going Arizona here. But I mean Arkansas, I feel like they're very good, just not quite at Arizona's level.
I agree. Arkansas, very good, but Arizona just stifles. They'll be with the interior defense. They'll be able to slow down a guy like Acuff, and then it'll be on kind of to someone like Malik Thomas. Even Acuff's still going to have to play kind of outside. I don't think he'll be able to be as much of a leader. Arizona moves on to the Elite Eight. Next, we move on to Gonzaga versus Purdue. 3-2, I believe. The only three, no, we actually have two 3-2 games in the Sweet 16. Who do you have?
Pretty. I don't like Gonzaga one bit. I mean, I feel like they have a very easy path to the Sweet 16. Playing either BYU or Texas, I feel like both pretty weak at their seed lines. Um, and I don't like them at all. I think Purdue's they're very talented. They're a senior led team. They're they're like very experienced, and I feel like they. I mean, Gonzaga is too, but I just don't like Gonzaga. I'm going Purdue.
I agree completely. We move on. Florida Vanderbilt rematch of an the SEC semifinal in which Vanderbilt kind of ran away with it, dominant the entire game, won by 17, and it felt like more. Ugh, I'm not sure what to think about this one.
I don't know if I mean it's definitely plausible to see Florida getting upset here, but I would be more inclined to pick it if they hadn't already lost the game to Vanderbilt. Yeah, but now I feel like, I mean, obviously, Vanderbilt looked very convincing there, but also, I don't know that they can repeat that performance. I don't know that Florida is going to allow that to happen again. So I'm going to go with Florida here.
I agree. Now we have a game that I'm pretty sure you and I disagree on, so we'll have to figure out what to think about that. Houston, Illinois. I
Yeah,
think Houston's a bit of a runny team. I think Houston could have some problems, especially if they can't get it going offensively. I think they're a team that's at a risk of looking almost like Tennessee did last year against them. with only 19 points in the first half. Just an embarrassing offensive showing. What do you think they do here against Illinois?
I think they take them back. I mean, I just wasn't impressed with Illinois too much. I don't see them going on a run in this. I mean, I know people do, but I don't. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, Houston has an outstanding scoring defense. They have Emmanuel. I mean, they always have a good defense. Last year, that's what led them to the championship game, and this year they're right back at that. So, I mean, if there's any team that can stop Illinois' very good offense, it's them. Then, I mean, obviously their Sweet 16 game, I believe it's actually played in Houston, which I mean, I don't know how much of an impact that makes, but I believe they play pretty much at home. Then also, I mean, block shots, which uh, uh, obviously doesn't bode well for Illinois, even if they don't really use the paint all that much. I don't think. But the Illinois' offense is also obviously incredible. I mean, this is a huge game. And I mean, they've also already beaten high level teams. But I mean, I feel like, I mean, defense wins championships, and I feel like Houston has much better has a uh,
Yeah. Testing. Sam, can you hear me?
yeah.
Alrighty. Moving on, two 1v2 games and a 1v3. Will we have anything different? Michigan playing Alabama. Who do you have? I think Bama's a week four. I think Michigan gets it done. What about you?
Yeah, I mean Alabama, they're also very good offensively. I mean, I could definitely see them going on some runs, making some big shots, which would which could definitely lead to them taking down Michigan. But I don't know. I don't think they're a particularly strong team, so I'm going to go with Michigan.
I agree. I think Michigan can handle an Aiden Holloway-less Bama. Moving on, Tennessee, Iowa State. Again, going to recuse myself here. Vols play to the level of their opponent, Momcilovic, one of the great shooters. What do you have here?
I mean, I think Tennessee definitely could take down Iowa State. That's, I mean, Nate Ament has been overall this Tennessee team. They they can play at very high levels often, but also I huge factor in their success. And I mean, they
Sam, can you hear me? Um, we will go to break. Be right back. Just going to take this opportunity to give you an update on the games around the horn. Miami, Ohio, and SMU just about to, excuse me, go ahead and get started over on True TV on ESPN2. Missouri State and Stephen F. Austin are on their way at the Moody Center in Austin as they play for a chance to take on Texas as the 16 seed. Richmond getting manhandled by a very good 11 seeded Nebraska in their first four game of the women's tournament. And here we go, Tron True TV. Looks like we are just about to get started for what is a very interesting game. Both of these teams playing for the chance, the opportunity to play against the Vols. We will see who comes out on top of that. For now, gonna go see if I can get Sam back on this. If not, I'll uh I'll make my decisions. Be right back. Yeah, should be a good one. Let's take a look at what we have so far. We've got two 1v2s, a 1v3, all four one seeds making the Elite Eight. I don't think that would be unlikely. The thing is, I don't think this year's one seeds are particularly good. I think this is kind of a weak year. I think there's a lot of parity, and I think there are a lot of teams that just don't really have it in them to get back in. Sam, it looks like you are back. Are you ready to make your pick on Tennessee, Iowa State? Sam, are we getting a sound from you? Doesn't seem like it. So far, I'll give you a second to get situated. Is it working there? Sam, it doesn't appear that this is working. Is this working on yours? Doesn't look like it. Um we will again be right back. All right, we are back. Sam will be joining us through speakerphone. He'll be picking Tennessee, Iowa State right now. Sam, what are you thinking in this one? We are going Iowa State, of course. Tennessee is, I mean, pretty confident they can play the level. They tend to play to the level of their opponents, which in this case probably is a good thing. But I think Iowa State, they're very good defensively, which may slow Tennessee down. I don't really have too much basis for this pick, but I will go with the Cyclones. All right, gonna disagree. SMU has just taken a 2-0 lead. Very important news that we're going to be getting updates on throughout the finish here. The Elite Eight, Duke, Michigan State. Will Michigan State be the only three seed in the Final Four. We've got an injury in the Stephen F. Austin versus Missouri State women's first four game.
We do not need to hear about this.
Continue.
All right. Michigan State. So, State obviously already happened this season, where in the Breslin Center, Duke came out on top. This one in early December, and they have a top 5 defense, a top 5 offense in the country. And Michigan State, I'm not a big fan of this Michigan State team. They're very balanced, I guess. Very fierce. Averaging, I believe 10 assists per game, which is pretty impressive. He also tends to get 13 points by keeping people on the balls.
Three for Miami, Ohio to make it a 1-point lead.
Anyways, I'm gonna go Duke here. I don't really like the Spartans in this. I don't think they're that great of a team.
Nice ball movement by SMU.
Okay.
I agree. Going on in the West region, will Arizona or Purdue cut down the nets as the West region champion?
I don't know that you cut down nets when you win a region.
You get some weird trophy.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, Arizona, Purdue. I mean, I could potentially see Purdue winning this one as a very experienced team. All of these guys have, or most of these starters have played in situations like this against the odds here to take down Arizona. I mean, this would, in my opinion, be quite the upset, honestly. I think that Purdue, well talented, I don't think they can compete with Arizona. I think Arizona is just, they have a great group of shooters. I mean, so many guys, like they shoot at a high percentage. And, I mean, if he isn't shooting well, that Jalen Bradley, Big 12 Player of the Year. If, let's say, Bradley's not shooting well, they got Braden Burries. Like, I mean, they have so many great players offensively, and, I mean, their defense is also quite solid, holding opponents to only 68 points a game. So, yeah, I will go with Arizona.
I agree. We look at these statistics here, 81 points per game to 86 for Arizona, and then 70 points per game allowed by Purdue to 68.8. I think Arizona is able to get it done. They will move on to the Final Four. Florida, Houston, our second 1-2 matchup. Who do you have here?
All right, Florida and Houston. I mean, this is pretty much inside the final one seed. These two teams, fourth and fifth ranked teams, pretty much in this bracket.
Goes 1-for-2 at the line. They lead by 2.
Alright, cool. Anyways, Houston, I feel like they're good offensively and defensively. Kingston Flemings has really emerged this year. I mean, I don't know that his size is totally ideal, but I mean, he's proven to be very effective. Florida, obviously, very hot. I believe, I don't think they've lost since like January before that game against Vanderbilt. And that definitely could continue, but I think Houston takes it down. I think that Houston's a very good team, and I mean, so I think they can take down the Gators.
I agree. I like Houston. I think they're very strong. I think they run into just a really strong Illinois team. I have Illinois winning this one. I see Houston. If you don't have a team like Illinois running the table, going their final Elite Eight game, Michigan, Iowa State. Who do you like in this one?
I think Iowa State might have this one. I've seen Michigan struggle at times this season. I haven't watched all that much Iowa State. I mean, they probably also struggled at times, but like Michigan, they definitely have some off days. I mean, obviously they should be very, very dominant against very good teams at times. Just as you can see by their huge wins for.
I mean, Iowa State has had some serious off nights in the last few weeks.
Yeah, they did have, but I mean, also Michigan. I mean, they are playing like winning games that convincingly, at least recently. Close win against Wisconsin, where that's excusable as like playing a very good Wisconsin team. Tough one against Ohio State. A tight one against Iowa. They lost to Duke not too long ago, and I mean, so it's like I think they also, I mean, haven't looked incredible recently, even if their record recently might support that they have. So I mean, I don't know. I would go with Iowa State, but I mean, I don't really believe in my team all that much. I don't know.
I'm not going to overrule. I would go with Michigan, but
Okay.
I think that Iowa State definitely, when they're rolling, when Momchilovich is on fire, can beat a team like Michigan. I think they'll be definitely be able to. I don't know if they will, if that does end up being the Elite Eight matchup. Houston Duke. Huh.
All right. I know for a rematch of was it a rematch of last year's? I think
It
it was.
it was a rematch of last year's. Houston won last year
Yes.
on a kind of insane finish.
Yeah. So Houston. I mean, I don't know. Duke obviously incredible on both sides of the ball, and it's. I mean, enormous. But I think that if there's a team that can take it down, it would be Houston. Just how well, how good they are defensively. They're too big. Tugler and what's his name? They're great with rebounding. They both, I mean, great with rim protection. That's crucial to stopping Cameron Bruiser, Duke's primary source of offense or leading scorer. And I mean, they are a bit banged up going into the tournament. I'm going to go with Houston here. I really do like Houston to repeat another championship run and take down Duke.
I agree that Duke is weak. I just can't see it against Houston. But again, defer to you on this
I don't know,
one.
man. I don't know, man.
Actually, I kind of want to move it to Duke. I'm going to move it to Duke.
For sure.
I think Duke handles Houston. I don't think Duke is a strong one, but I think they can handle Houston. I think they'll get it done. Arizona, Iowa State. Who you thinking?
All right. Well,
Arizona won both matchups, one convincingly, one very, very tight in the tournament.
yeah. I mean, I could definitely see Iowa State getting their revenge here, but Arizona, they're just such a good team. Like, um, they have just 2 losses on the year, and I think that they are. Well, let's see. Like, yeah. Hold up. So Arizona. I mean, like a key part of their success is their um. Wait, hold up. Yeah, they're shooting 50%, and that's huge against an Iowa State team that also shoots well, but also has a very impressive defense. We've already watched this game have occur multiple times this season, and yeah, it times ended in Arizona's favor. So I mean, oftentimes, I mean, it's really tough to beat such a good team 3 times in a season, but I think that's what will happen here.
I agree. Now, Duke, Arizona. Who do you have? Goodness.
All right, so see, so Duke and Arizona battle the one seed. This is quite the matchup in the finals.
Uh,
And
First, pick the amount of points you think will be scored.
I don't have the slightest idea how many points will be scored.
I think this game will be 147. I'll just throw that out.
Okay. I mean, this one, I see it. And somewhat high scoring. Maybe not but I mean, maybe not.
I think it's just the playing in a football stadium kind of messes a lot of people up. I think it'll do that here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh,
Goodness gracious, that's an important arena.
Foster, the CC tournament. Yeah, they, I mean, they should be by then, but I mean, they have incredible star power. Cam Boozer is just such an incredible player. Arizona, I mean, they have a lot of momentum. They just dominated the Big 12 tournament, and they might just be the deepest team in the country. They have so much depth. They have 7 players that average 9 points per game or more. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're very versatile. They have a 7'2" center in Krivas. I mean, I think that Arizona will win this one. Coming in hot, they have a 9-game win streak and really have been proving themselves time and time again.
I agree. I think whoever gets on the right side of the bracket here will win. I think the right side is stronger. Sitting there, you got your Arkansas, you have Wisconsin, you have a team like Tennessee, you've got strong teams like Iowa State. Other side, I like the South. Not really sure about who to love in the East, except for St. John's. Again, feel bad. They're kind of having to run into Duke so early. I think, yeah, I like this bracket. Thank you so much for joining us on the Collegiate Rundown. This bracket has been submitted, and we have our pick to cut down the nets. It will be Arizona. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. We will see you hopefully at some point, maybe during the weekend or next week, for some analysis